How's that? How's that? We good? We have wire issues. What you missed was welcome to the Dean Blundell show here at deanblundell.com. And we're good because I just got fingered. That's how we start this whole thing. I get fingered by Sean. We start. That's what we do. He goes like this. That's the finger. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what your problem is. Anyway, welcome. It's Friday, which means we're in for some fun today because every Friday we're joined on the Dean Blundell show here at deanblundell.com by my boy Sandy Plashkus. He's the VP of Marketing from Ownersbox. Sandy Plashkus, ladies and gentlemen. Ownersbox Weekly Fantasy Sports, official partner of deanblundell.com. Sandy Plashkus, how are you, buddy? How are you?
I'm great, Dean. Getting that Friday energy going early today. It's always a pleasure to join with you on these Fridays, and especially having my buddy Christian today. It's going to be an action-packed episode, to say the least. I'm pumped up.
Yeah, this is a purposeful podcast brought to you by our friends at Ownersbox Fantasy Sports, where you can get a $50 deposit match right now if you go to deanblundell.com and you just hit the thing. Just hit it. Owners, you see Drew Brees, hit it. You join. We'll have some fun. We'll play some fantasy. We're going to get to that in a minute as well. But the whole purpose of this was to introduce everybody to someone who's new to deanblundell.com and Ownersbox. Please welcome some SoCal flavor, Christian Gange. Dude, how are you? Nice to see you.
Doing well, Dean. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for bringing me onto the team.
That's what we do. We just bring people on the team.
Yes, sir.
Now, Christian, you guys are friends. Christian is a writer and a content producer. I don't even like, how we used to have like categories for people like, oh, that guy's on the radio, that guy's a newspaper writer, that guy's a blogger, that guy's a this. I just think like a content. You just love sports and sports content, and you're like balls deep into the Padres, and you're
it's an understatement.
Yeah. Like we've got already 2 articles from Christian up at deanblundell.com if you want to go and have a look, and they're great. It's both of them just roasting the Padres, and he's like the massive Padres fan. And his buddy Sandy, who's here, is like a Dodgers fan, so he's swinging the big dick in the Cracker Factory right now, which is really cool. But having you here is cool because we really didn't have any representation in Southern California in regards to sports. So dude, it's great to have you.
Yeah, man. Great to be here. I mean, getting to write about Southern California sports is just an absolute dream, doing that for content. And much more than just the Padres. I think we discussed, I went to USC, so the University of Southern California. Yep. And as passionate as I am about the Padres, that's how I am about that football program. And probably even more passionate for my hatred for the Los Angeles Chargers and that piece of shit asshole Dean Spanos who took them from my city up to a town that doesn't even know who the fuck they are. So expect a few articles ripping on that guy in the future.
I can't wait. There's nothing that writes better than hatred of like super mega billionaires that fuck over the fans of a city.
Yeah,
I still have
trust fund kids too. So
I
real.
I know. Like, Spanos is still living off his dad's stuff, isn't he? That's why he's get some free stuff up in LA. Anyway, so what are you all about though? Like, what is Christian Gange? If someone came up to you and was like, okay, so you're working for the site. What are you doing for the site? What do you do for deanblundell.com? What do you do for Ownersbox? What would you say your deal is?
Yeah, I mean, as we discussed, massive sports fan. I think it's definitely my top 1, 2, and 3 passion is just literally being a sports fan.
Favorite sports, name them. Let's rank your favorite sports. Christian Gange's favorite sports. 1.
1 is baseball.
2.
Big baseball guy. Football.
3.
Hockey.
Ooh, that's
wow!
Pretty,
there you go, Canadian. Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm a sneaky Tampa Bay Lightning fan. So
are you really?
You guys are hockey fans. So yeah, this was lived in Tampa for a couple years outside of when I left San Diego for a bit. So.
And you could go to games there. You could go to games in Tampa for like $5. Back then,
I went the year after they won the cup in 2005, and I think we spent probably $10-20. Nobody cares.
if you Googled Fairweather fandom, a picture of Christian would show up in the dictionary for the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's how we.
No, what I've said, I don't really pay attention to the NHL until the playoffs get here. Yeah. So last year, being a Lightning fan, I started paying attention. I'm like, oh shit, we had the best record of all time. This team's legit. We're gonna dominate. Can't wait. Then just get fucking swept by the Blue Jackets in the first round. So I went 0-4 on the year for what I cared. So it's good to get a little revenge.
Well, I'm fucking shocked. I think Sandy is too. Did you know that about your bestie? Did you know that he
knows
he's a closet hockey fan and you're not? You make fun of it and shit.
He's a hockey fan when the playoffs roll around, and I don't blame him because his team's actually good. Myself, on the other hand, I'm a fair weather at best Leafs fan. I went to a few games this year before COVID. What a joke of a team, though. I mean, I'm honestly ashamed of the Leafs, and I don't advertise that I'm a Leafs fan on this podcast. I guess this is the first time I've ever done so. But, I vote for them. But at the end of the day, I know they're going nowhere. The management's a mess. The team's a mess. I'm a fan, but I'm not diehard.
Dude, you're already all in because you're shitting on the Leafs. So fuck.
Just like every other Leafs fan I know. I don't have one partner in the office that doesn't love the Leafs but also talk smack about them. So
how long has it been
another
since
one
they've
of the
won?
boys.
It's been like
Stop
30
it.
years since they've won, right?
No, 67, way longer, dude. Way longer
God.
than 30 years. Like 112.
Hey, that's bigger than the Padres drought. So
Yeah,
like
I guess
that.
so. But hold it. The thing about the Leafs is, and I've realized this over time. Christian Gange is our guest, by the way, and Sandy Plashka. Sandy, of course, VP of marketing for Ownersbox, and basically betting guru, teaser. He's a teaser of sorts. Christian Gange is new to DeanBlundell.com, and his Wannabes podcast. The Wannabes podcast is now at DeanBlundell.com too. But let me just say this about the Leafs. Every time a Leaf fan says something on social media and someone who's not a Leaf fan, because it's easy to fucking hate the Leafs, someone who's not a Leaf fan always responds traditionally with the same response. Is it 1967? That's what they say. They go 1967. And I watch these people do this back and forth, and I'm like, and I'm not a Leaf fan, but I'll talk kindly about the Leafs because I live here. I'm sort of like Sandy Plashka. I'm like, yeah, I'll adopt the team, sure. But it's great business. It's great for clicks. I'm not a fucking idiot. I know what people are going to click on, and so I like to light the fire sometimes. And so my point is this, is that the fire that a lot of people get on, and it's like this for fans too. I'm sure it was like this for the Cubs, people in the stands screaming, 1854. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny for me, but every time someone says 1967, I go, and? Your point? Well, they haven't won since 67. And especially when Habs fans get into it with the Leafs, they haven't won since 92. It's like, who sucks the hardest or the least hardest? And it's this fight back and forth, but it doesn't exist anywhere but in Toronto. It's like these four numbers that will drive Leaf fans absolutely insane, and I think it's fucking awesome. 1967. Yes.
Hilarious topic. You said the Habs, and I had to ask, you're going to shit on me for this, but this shows you how much hockey I actually watch and know. I had to ask my dad's business partner who the Habs were roughly 4 or 5 months ago. I didn't know who they were. So so have a good laugh. Enjoy that. I'm a California guy at heart. You know that. The network now apparently understands that. Knows where I put my energy and time towards. Obviously, being an NFL guy, but I learned that recently, and everyone laughed at me when I asked the question.
I mean, help me out.
I would get a good laugh.
I have no idea what the Habs are, so you're gonna have to be there. Yeah, I'm sitting here like, all right, I'm gonna run with this.
This is gonna be fun. Okay, so
that explains my NHL knowledge to you right there,
dude. This is now a new feature, Hockey 101 for Americans. Okay, so and by the way, I love Americans. Hockey 101 for Americans, and let me explain what the Habs are. Habs are the habitants. It's French. For the native to the area, Habs. Habs is a short firm that the Montreal Canadiens have been given that name as the Habs. And so everybody calls them the Habs. We actually have a podcast at DeanBlundell.com called Have a Listen. So if you are looking at,
I see.
If someone like you or Sandy was looking at the podcast list and you're like, have a listen, you're like, those guys can't fucking spell.
Yeah, but I would not be very optimistic about the intelligence if I saw that.
Yeah. Well, it's good. I'm just happy you're an NHL fan. And so what's number 4? Where do you go number 4? Do you have a number 4?
Yeah, I'll go NBA.
NBA.
But I'm not huge into the NBA. But
now, is it your favorite sports to watch or based on your favorite sports?
Both. I'd say both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sandy.
I mean, I've never played hockey, of course. Growing up in San Diego, we don't play hockey, but I respect the hell out of that sport. So fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's the fastest sport on earth other than highlight and shooting. So explain the thing to me. Explain, Sandy, your top 4. Give me your top 4. NFL.
My top 4, no question, NFL. Number 2, MLB. Number 3, NBA. And then number 4, women's. No, I'm just kidding. NHL. NHL. Number 4.
I would say and it's weird. I'm gonna go NBA, which is bizarre for a Canadian. I love watching NBA hockey, and then I'm gonna go Major League Baseball, and then I'm gonna go NHL. That's like I would rather watch a Major League Baseball game, an out of market Major League Baseball game, than an out of market NHL game. 10 days out of 10.
Are you sure you're Canadian?
100%. Yeah, no, I am.
There we go. I felt so off.
I know. Isn't that fucking weird?
I respect it.
Yeah, I'm like hockey. Yeah, Minnesota, Anaheim. No thanks. What else am I doing that night? Nothing. So I'll just try and watch baseball. That's why I had WGN for years, because I'd come home and I would put on day games and I'd be like, yeah, fuck, just the sound of it is tremendous. Anyway, but you're a Padres fan, and they ate some serious shit. And the Dodgers won, and Sandy is like a Dodgers super fan. He was crying the other night. Do you guys like? He was crying. He was crying. You were crying when they won, were you not?
I was teary eyed. We won't get carried away here. But I was let me just tell you, you say 1967 with the Leafs. My buddy Christian likes to politely remind me every year that 1988, that's all he says. Haven't won a championship in your lifetime. That's his, hey, Sandy, like kind of fuck you punchline for him. But, those days are over with, Dean. I'm here. We're champions. You know who else is champions? Lakers, baby. Champions of the bubble. Yeah. You see this shirt? I'm not messing around anymore.
I know.
I'm SD. I'm from SD, but I'm LA. LA all the way, and it's great to have some ammo in my chest. You could say so. As Christian, being a Padres fan, I'm happy we ran through them in the playoffs this year, so we had no excuses that they were better than us. But I will let him defend himself.
I got a few. Don't worry.
And I actually respect Christian. One thing about him is a lot of Padres fans. They're very arrogant. They say a lot of things. They tweet a bunch. They're one of the louder fan bases because they don't know how to win. But Christian is great. He owns up. When he's wrong, he's the first one to tweet about it. He wrote an article about it on the site, obviously. So, the kind of stand-up guy he is. So I would love him to speak on the, our relationship over the years, the Dodgers, Padres beef, and, all in between. So Christian, please take the floor.
Yeah, man. So I think as my article said, I predicted, so the Padres, we haven't been good my entire lifetime. I think I was 10 years old when we made the playoffs last. So
that's
a
tough one, right? That's a tough. It feels like forever when it's your entire lifetime, because that is forever.
Yeah, and it's not like we haven't missed the playoffs. We've been under 500 like every year but one in that 14-year stretch. So just been hell.
Right.
But I've been saying I think I found a tweet from 2018. I actually thought I said it earlier, but that's what I could find, saying 2020 was going to be the year. So if you go on my Twitter, it's just flooded with the hashtag 2020 World Series champs making that prediction.
Right.
And the fact that the Dodgers won in 2020, I could have lived with it. We had a good year, finally in the playoffs. But the fact the fucking Dodgers are the ones that won in 2020 is literally it kills me. So
can you not be happy? Yeah, but can you not be happy for Sandy a little bit?
No, he just the Lakers win. The Lakers just won a couple weeks earlier. He was fine in his sports fanship. I haven't won shit ever, Dean. So
yeah,
I don't feel bad. Misery loves company. I was hoping just I could keep my you haven't won in the lifetime thing, and now I got nothing. The Dodgers, they won. I have to eat my words. I fucking wrote a blog about it. So
yeah, did you ever? And then you also wrote a great one on
oh, this fucking guy, Dean.
Luis Campusano. Explain to me why he's the dumbest man on earth. Explain that, because both your articles have been very critical of the Padres, and for a Padres super fan, tough fucking start. Yeah,
I've had some friends reach out to me. He's like, dude, are you going to be negative about us? Everything you write? I'm like, no, I'll find some positive things. But
friends actually,
it's hard to find positive things with this damn being a Padres fan. But yeah. So just a little background. Luis Campusano, he's our number 4 prospect. The Padres last offseason, we were talking to the Red Sox about Mookie Betts, and one of the big reasons we didn't get a deal done was because AJ Preller did not want to get rid of Luis Campusano. So he goes to the Dodgers for fucking nothing. And then this guy, so he played one game this year and then he got hurt, but he hits a home run. So it's all right, he's going to be good, catcher of the future. And then a week or so after we get kicked out, I get the report that the dude had 79 grams of weed in his car. 79 grams in the state of Georgia. It's not like he's doing it in California where he works. He's doing it in Georgia where it's illegal. And now it's a felony. He's facing up to 10 years in prison. And if he does that, you'll see in the article, if he did that damn thing in California, it's a $500 fine. But now he's facing 10 years because he can't just 79 grams. Who needs that? Are you selling? Bro, you're a pro athlete. Go get your money.
It was when Esteban Loaiza got busted with 4 billion pounds of cocaine in his van at the border a couple of years ago. Do you remember that?
I do.
And
what is going on?
Dude made 58 million over his 14-year Major League Baseball career. And the next time I heard about Esteban Loaiza, who pitched for the Jays, he's like, oh, he got busted with all of the cocaine in the world in his car. at the border. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, are you serious? But I was reading the article, and it's really funny because you actually, Justin, you kind of give some legal information, and it's, this is great. What makes the action level so dumb by Campusano is the fact that he did it in a state where it's illegal when it's legal in the state he plays in.
Like, dude, like I put in there, like I'm obviously an advocate. Like, weed should be legal in every state, but like
Of
it's
course.
not. You're a pro athlete. You're 22 years old. Like, you're gonna make a shit ton of money. Like, just go fucking live in San Diego in the off season and smoke all the weed you want. Like,
Do you
it's
think he was
legal in the
trying to
MLB
sell it?
too.
Do you think he was trying to sell it?
I mean, I don't want to speculate, Dean, but who's smoking 79 grams? Like that's not like that's not possible. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm speechless. I couldn't believe it. I hope he gets out of it somehow. I haven't found any new news on it, but I feel like he's fucked for the time being.
You know what? I looked it up actually after I read the article, just after you posted it at DeanBlundell.com. Go and check it out. It's called "Is Luis Campusano the Dumbest Human on the Planet?"
Yes.
Next to Esteban Loaiza, it's pretty close.
He is.
But
My answer is yes.
Yeah, that's incredible. Like it's sort of the same like thinking that goes into like those super uber wealthy celebrities and athletes that get busted for DUI. Like, you had to fucking get that car home. Like, you couldn't just get an Uber. You couldn't just fucking pay someone 10 grand to drive you home. Like, it was that important to you. You just, like those decisions that they don't. Not a lot of people take the long view. Like, he's the number 4 prospect in your system. Is that not correct?
Yeah,
and one of the best in the league. It's like the best system in the league. Too.
I mean, I don't know.
He's going to get fucking paid
overall.
Yeah, he's going to get paid.
Fucking stud. Like,
yeah.
And we need a catcher. Like, we have catcher open. Like, he'll start next year. It's like, oh my God.
That's awesome. That's that's just unbelievable to me. I think that's a great story. So yeah, he's done. Who was it that impressed me the most? It was Tatis Jr. impressed me the most in San Diego this year. And
my boy, baby.
And all the listen, the dingers, the power, the average, the great, awesome, all-around ball player. He's got all the tools. Great. Just that extra level of asshole that he has in him is like fucking so awesome to watch. I love players like that, and I don't know why. I love it.
Oh, he's fucking awesome. And like he said, like, I'm not gonna make the argument yet, Sandy. Like, I don't think he's the best player in baseball. I can give that. That's Mike Trout, Mookie Betts. Make that argument whatever you want. But like, I truly do believe he's the face of baseball, or the face of the future, because of the way he acts. Like,
now, you guys are significantly younger than me. Do you love that fucking bat flip, stare down, 5-minute walk to first base? You dig it?
Love it. Love it.
Now, but I have something on the topic before you keep going, Christian.
Please.
So I actually agree. As much as I hate the Padres, I'm not ignorant. I'm not. And watching Tatis Jr., he's full of energy. He brings a different kind of energy to the game. That
would you call that big? Would you call that the big dick energy?
BDE, yeah, BDE as the 23-year-olds
That's big dick energy.
Yeah. BDE. But yeah, what he does is he brings, he attracts younger viewers, and like a guy like Trevor Bauer is the same kind of guy where he started his own podcast, creating content for fans of all ages to digest baseball content more conveniently than through like MLB Network or the mainstream networks, right? So I think baseball needs more of Tatis Juniors, more of Trevor Bauer kind of guys who are gonna, because you tweet about. I know Sussman, one of our great friends, is big on this too. It's the game, they're not appealing to the right people. Like the younger generations like are falling off baseball. It's a shame because they're not getting engaged like they should be. Like MLB's marketing is pretty trash, honestly, and they could do a way better job engaging fan bases. And I think if they talk down, like if they're going to talk down on Tatis for bat flipping and like, the Bautista bat flip, I think of that, for the Jays fans, like that's
that bat flip is like that. Yeah. But that bat flip is like 15th now on the list of the greatest, most disrespectful bat flips of all time.
That was an all-time moment.
And
all
dude,
time.
And like you can put Arozarena in that category now, who was what a
insane,
Randy Arozarena was. Yeah, I know. Almost killed you guys single-handedly. And then, but like, Tatis and just the flair that he brings. You're right. Fuck. I watch it and I'm amazed that he doesn't get rushed. Like I'm amazed that some old base coach doesn't run out. Go, what the fuck are you doing, kid? You know what I mean? Like it's just so anti-baseball culture. Yeah, I know.
Do you remember the 3-0 grand slam that he hit against the Rangers? And apparently the Rangers, Chris Woodward, biggest pussy in the fucking world, but goes out there and says that like you're supposed to respect the game, take a 3-0 pitch when you're up 7 runs. It's like, okay, first off, you're saying the game's over. Like if the game's over, just forfeit if we're not going to keep playing. And then he's challenging the old guard. It's a new era. It's like what Sandy said, the NFL is successful, the NBA is successful because they're appealing to that. Like the NFL is like letting them celebrate now.
Yeah.
Like, let them do that in the MLB.
Yeah.
And as a
100%
Padre
agree.
fan, if Mookie Betts hits a home run off the Padres, freaking bat flip on us.
How
like,
far are we? How far are we?
Yeah.
How far are we away? Just real quick from like a cartwheel down first base.
I don't know if I would like that one. That's deal too much, but
it's like Gratterall games. I think the great example.
I hate Gratterall.
What might be more overboard. So I want to finish on the Tatis thing first and the bat flipping thing. Dave Roberts, who I am now more of a fan of than I have been over the last few years. Gange, you know this. We talk about it all the time. He got mad about a celebration for the Padres. Who was the player, Gange? I don't remember. Trent Grisham.
And
he came over from Milwaukee. Over from Milwaukee. That was a great pickup for you guys.
Yeah.
He bat flipped. He hit a bomb. He bat flipped. But Dave, come on, man. Like your own players do the same thing. Gratterall threw his glove. Like I'm a Dodgers fan. Keep in mind, like Gratterall threw his glove in the air after getting it out in the 8th inning. Like you didn't win the game, bud. You didn't even win the World Series.
He gave up a shot. He got saved by Bellinger on that too.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
So like if you're gonna walk the walk, you better be able to back it up. Like he's gonna let his players do it, but then you're gonna condemn other players. Like I don't agree with that. I think we need more of that energy. We need more of that,
big dick energy.
People want to see that stuff. What do you see? Go to Twitter on MLB's page. What's the most watched videos always? It's always the celebrations. It's always the bat flips. It's always all the extra shit that happens after cool things happen. So we need more of that as fans. I love it. And I know, millions of other fans will love it as well.
I agree. Is the best.
Yeah, but honestly, you said it, bring in the new era. Yeah.
Is the best, worst, best celebration though, like an NFL celly from a guy who, returns a fumble for 12 yards and his team gets on the board finally, and now they're only down 40-7.
Yeah. That's bad.
You're doing the Rodgers. You're doing that. Dean, honestly, that Rodgers, that hump celebration, you were all in my Twitter mentions for that. And then after that, they absolutely fell apart. So
we had big money on that game too together, Sandy. That hurt. God. I was feeling good, and that really backfired.
That did indeed.
Yeah, the Sallies I love. I just love Tatis. I love the energy he brings. I love the flair that he plays with. I love it, and I'm of that old school fucking love and life, right? Like the whole thing that I loved about athletes back in the day were the athletes that would score and then, hand the ball off or skate back to center ice or head back to the dugout and take their hat off and put it down. I'm like, oh, what a gentleman. And I'm like, fucking gentlemen are boring as balls now. Like, I don't want to see gentlemen play the game. You know what I want to see? I want to see like disruptors play the game. That's what I want to see.
I think the difference is it's not as in where the old guard thinks it's not a sign of disrespect to do the bat flip and to celebrate. Like you're celebrating your own moment. You're pumping your own teammates up. Like Tatis's bat flips have pumped up the Padres and led us to rallies like all year. Mm-hmm. Like it is more to like celebrating yourself, and the people who look at disrespect need to just grow up and get over themselves.
Yeah, totally agreed. Can I ask you guys for a favor? So Sandy Plaskis is VP of Ownersbox, Weekly Fantasy Sports. One of our partners, the podcast, of course, brought to you by Ownersbox Fantasy Sports. We've been playing some fantasy sports. I've been hit or miss. I was like 5-5 up till last week, and I got bombed by Sandy and like every single buddy that I played. I got bombed in my 16-man. I got bombed in my fucking 4-man, my 2-man. And then I was in the finals of our head-to-head of the MVP tournament. Sandy destroyed me by like 80 fantasy points. I had like 3. So can you guys do me a favor? You're both well, obviously Sandy being who he is, but you're big into this too. NFL fantasy. We only have just over half a season left. Can you fucking help me figure out, and everybody else, because the entry-level opportunity here for Ownersbox and people that love and want something to do during the pandemic or during this downtime and the time that we're going into, it's a riot. Like it's that spike of fun that you get that you're looking for when you've got a million NFL games on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, whenever they got to reschedule the COVID games for. But it's like nonstop. You're always refreshing, checking to see what player did what. What is the foundation? If you guys were to say, okay, fantasy sports 101, just with the NFL, where do you start when it comes to building a foundation to actually pick your players on a weekly basis? Like, are there rudimentary rules when it comes to starting down the path of playing weekly fantasy?
So I'll take this. I know Christian's been one of our avid users since day one. Obviously, he can speak on the user experience from a custom perspective better than I can. But again, looking at the weekly format and what we do, the most important thing I would recommend to first time users getting on our platform is to look at the matchups for that week. Really study the best matchups, who's playing who, and I think that's really what weighs in on who you're going to pick that week. So, for example, if this week Patrick Mahomes he's playing the Jets, and you're probably going to pick Patrick Mahomes in most leagues. But that said, I'll probably lean to the Tyreek Hills of the world, or the Kelseys earlier in my rounds in my Ownersbox drafts than I would in other formats, right, when they're not playing the Jets. So
that's my question. When I started, you're like, don't take a quarterback. Why are you taking running backs and wide receivers first?
So all our leagues, for you fantasy football fans out there, they're all PPR leagues, which is point per reception. So you're going to lean, early rounds, especially in your 2-man and 4-man contests, lean running back, receiver in the first few rounds just for that reason. So your Alvin Kamara's of the world, your right. Michael Thomas's when he's healthy, DeAndre Hopkins, those type of top tiered receivers, Devonta Adams being another one, Aaron Jones this year, just a lot of those top tiered running backs that not only rush for a ton of yards, but also catch passes, because you get a point for each reception, even if it's a loss of yards on the reception. So you really got to look at it from that lens. And then also, look for, I like to pair a QB. This is a pretty traditional fantasy, model to follow, but I like to pair, whether it's a running back QB or a QB and a receiver together from the same team. So this week I have actually 3 pairs together. I have Patrick Mahomes, I have Tyreek Hill, and I have Travis Kelce in 2 of my 4 drafts I have going so far. So if the Kansas City plays well this week, which I absolutely think they will, I'm likely gonna kill it in the weekly draft that I'm in right now. So that's some first time, advice I'd give out. But definitely, examine the matchups, look who's playing who, and then obviously look for those, pass catching running backs and receivers early in the rounds. That's some good first time advice.
Christian, is Sandy on the money? Is he right?
Yeah, he's spot on. I think the thing I like the most is that QB wide receiver kind of pairing. Obviously you're putting it all, it's a risk versus high risk.
That's what I did the first couple of weeks. I was taking fucking a receiver and a quarterback from totally different teams, and I'm looking at this thing going, if Sandy sees who I've taken, he's gonna fucking send me a message and call me a loser, guaranteed.
Well, that's the thing. A couple of weeks ago, I did a contest and I paired up Kyler Murray with DeAndre Hopkins. So it's it's kind of going in. The Cardinals
that's when Hopkins went off for 33 fantasy points, and I think Kyler Murray had 40 fantasy points. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So no, I actually lost my contest that week by 2 points because DeAndre got caught on a 70-yard catch and run, but got caught at the end. So beat me up. But still, that's what I think works too. Because if you take a Kyler Murray and then let's say you take, I don't know, Amari Cooper, then you're counting on the Cowboys offense and the Cardinals offense to both be successful. And just, it's harder to get 2 teams to have good days.
Sorry, just real quick, who's taking Amari Cooper this week?
I don't know why that's the first name that came to my head right there. Definitely, if you want advice, don't take anybody on the Dallas Cowboys for the rest of the year. I'd rather have a New York Jet than a Dallas Cowboy, honestly, at this
point. So tell me something then. You've picked your wide receivers, you picked your running backs. Then what? Are we into kickers? Are we into defensive players? Do you go back to the quarterback position? How do you play that? Because it's a waiting game. When you're in these drafts, and this is the part that, and I was going to tell you this, Sandy, this is work in a podcast, but what we have to do is work on doing a live draft so people can watch it, get in on it, because it's the rush. You're sitting there on a timer, you're watching and you're going, fuck, please don't take Mahomes. Please don't take Mahomes. Some guy takes Mahomes and you're like, God damn it. And you got to go back to the queue and you got to go find a different guy if you don't have a backup guy to go in the queue. And so explain what's after running backs and wide receivers.
So in our format, one of the beautiful things about our drafts is obviously they happen every week, but you actually have transparency. You can actually look at other people's rosters in the results tab on the right side of the draft. So after I pick a running back, a receiver early in the first few rounds, I'll fill those slots. And then I'll actually examine the other teams that are drafting in the contest with me to see what kind of players they're picking. So for example, I told you this on the first episode we did together, but say I draft a running back and a receiver, and I got both my positions filled there, and I see you take a quarterback in the second round like you did in our one draft. I wouldn't pick a quarterback. I would then see that you already had a quarterback in a head-to-head contest, and I wouldn't draft him until my last pick because I know that I don't need to. There's not going to be another quarterback taken off the board. So that immediately moves quarterback from like my 3rd or 4th round to my 10th round as my last pick. And then I'll look for, other positions you haven't filled. So if you haven't filled a kicker position, if you haven't filled a defensive slot, we do IDP. So you pick individual players.
Yeah.
I'll look for those kind of players that you don't have yet and get a better player. Then I'll just pick my second quarterback, the second best quarterback in the draft as the 10th pick. So you really have to examine after the first few rounds who everyone else has on their roster. And then from there, you're able to, strategize on the go and kind of, build your team from there. And I think that is what separates Ownersbox from a, DraftKings FanDuel experience, from a Yahoo experience. Well, it's very, you're only considering the week, not the whole season. And you're only, looking at it more from an analytical perspective than you do the dailies where it's only one day, right? So it's definitely a blend of both, season long and daily, but it is, very unique and experience through the draft process, through the, roster management process after the draft, and obviously the social engagement throughout. So there's definitely some unique strategies in the draft room for sure.
Do you know how fast after like if I've got a couple of guys still in play on Monday, how fast, depending on how I'm doing, I go and check my roster on Monday morning and just start dropping guys, just looking for something. It's like this thing. That's the panic that was involved with me last week. I'm like, fuck, I'm getting destroyed. How can I work my lineups? And it was impossible. But that was the great part, is that it's customizable. You can literally go in on the fly depending on when your guys play and all that stuff. You can go in and you can manage your roster, which I thought was really cool. And I didn't know that you had the flexibility to do it. But the best part about it for me is, and going back to why I'm asking these questions about foundational fantasy sports playing, specifically in the weekly space, is I wanted to be able to fucking get in there every week, every day, because I get like 3-4 requests from people now. It's because there's a little community and you make friends with people, and my name's up there just as my name. But I've got people going, hey, play me this week. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe you're better than me. I don't think I want to play a guy that's better than me, and I don't know the guy. You know what I mean? So it takes a little bit of learning. Like there's some strategy involved in it.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what Sandy said too.
Go ahead, Christian.
Going more, yeah. So I feel like most of the time, what you said with the quarterback thing is so true. Like I play, I think all the contests I've done with you, Sandy, have been 14 contests. So I'll kind of, but the tier 1 of QBs, I mean, it's like you have the Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, like Lamar Jackson, like just to name a few. So like I'm not going to take a QB till the very end, kind of thing. So that's like gonna always be a strategy. Like,
didn't hear Sam Darnold. I didn't hear Sam Darnold's name in there.
Hey,
fellow USC graduate, baby. There you go.
I'm biased, but I'm not an idiot. So I know. Honestly, get that man out of New York. I think he's legit. Yeah. Just save him from that fucking Adam Gase and that team, man.
Speaking of Sam Darnold, I have a quick story I have to share. So when was the Rose Bowl when Penn State played USC? What year?
It was 27. It was like New Year's Day 2017.
New Year's Day 2017. So when Saquon Barkley was still at Penn State, had that crazy run in that game. Christian and I were at the Rose Bowl Stadium, and obviously Christian and I have a ton of buddies that went to USC, so we were tailgating like animals, getting some drinks up, the usual, weekend action we get into.
Yeah,
we were at the game.
All that.
I was in, I'm a Penn State guy. I'm not going to say I'm the proudest Penn State fan, but I do vote for them. They're my college team if I had to pick a Division I school. So I actually went to the Rose Bowl game with Christian, and we were literally like, I was the one fan in the section wearing Penn State uniform, Penn State colors, cheering like an absolute maniac, causing a scene, fighting with everyone in our section. And, that game was one of the best football games I have ever seen. And I went to Super Bowl 45 when the Packers beat the Steelers. But this was arguably up there with that for one of the best games I have ever seen. And Christian, I was talking shit the whole game. I thought we had it. And then at the end, obviously we lost. And I had to, I was ashamed. Everyone was ripping me. I literally didn't hear the end of it.
You got ruined.
A few days after.
Sandy's sitting. We're all celebrating. Sandy's sitting on the bench of the Rose Bowl, hand in his face or whatever. And everybody's just literally getting pointed out, laughed at, just mocked. It was a beautiful sight. I got some videos I'll probably have to look up, just soaking it all in. But
yeah, do it.
That was a fun drive home, Sandy. I know.
So what I get from that is Sam Darnold crushed your dreams, but he's no one's taking him ever. Like I've never been tempted. Like every time I see him come across the board in the draft, I'm like, I'm not taking Sam Darnold. And it's less about the Jets and more about Sam Darnold. But sorry.
Hey, get him out of there. Get him to the Washington football team, somewhere else. Excuse me, pardon my French there. But
it's okay, dude. It's a force of habit. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, I honestly, I do still think he's legit. That's just like, you don't know. It's an unfair situation he's put in.
Okay,
So
so other than never taking Sam Darnold, we got wide receivers, running backs picked. You go kicker. What are you doing for defensive players? Because I take shots in the dark. Like I took Patrick Queen the first week. He had 20 fantasy points, and it was terrific. The second week he had 3. I'm like, how do you?
I had him the 3-point week. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And so, how do you pick defensive players? Like, what traditionally is a good strategy? Because, like I said, it's more like a dartboard thing.
Yeah, so for defensive players, well, it's a dartboard for guys like Dean who don't live and breathe, statistics and numbers. I'm a huge numbers guy, Dean.
I love this guy.
I'm always in the lab, Dean.
I know,
you
buddy.
best believe that.
I know.
We do IDP, so individual defensive players versus most platforms that do team defense. So I'm not just picking like the Baltimore Ravens defense or one of those team defenses. I'm actually picking individual players. So the ones I recommend for first timers to take are the linebackers, because not only do they have chances to deflect passes, which gets you points, they get a ton of tackles, they fill the holes. I pick guys like Blake Martinez in New York, led the NFL in tackles last year, and this year again I think he's leading the league. Bobby Wagner's another guy I have. I'm looking at my rosters here. I'm like the Devin White's the world Tampa Bay linebacker. These guys, I mean, you want to pick linebackers and some safeties, like strong down safeties who will get in the pot a lot of it and get the tackles and everything like that, but also deflect passes and possibly get interceptions and stuff like that. So I'd look for linebackers and DBs mainly, unless it's like an Aaron Donald or a Myles Garrett type where they're unique and they get sacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've taken Aaron Donald last 2 weeks and he's done absolutely jack shit. So
I feel like Aaron Donald's a tough guy to pick though, because
he's a nose tackle,
the Rams, but they'll just triple team him, so he won't get stats. But for him, it's a good game for the team, all that. But I suck at picking defense, so I needed to hear that too.
He's awful. Yeah, I don't know. That's where I've struggled. I got lucky with Patrick Queen 1 week, and after that I was fucked. But I watched Aaron Donald play 2 weeks ago, and they were talking about how he might not get all the sacks, but he's so disruptive, right? Like you don't get fantasy points for disrupting the line of scrimmage as much as he does. But anyway, it's just those are the hot tips I needed from you guys. That's what I needed, and I've been flying blind for like 3 weeks now, Plashkas.
Dean, are we going to do, what we got to do at some point today before I leave work? We got to do a draft with me, you, Gange, and one of the short-term assets. We'll do a little 4-teamer.
Yeah. Why can't we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we do that as soon as we hang up? Send me the invite, and then I'll blast it all over. And I'll be honest. Listen, if I get creamed, I'm going to follow this advice this week. Like I am going to literally, when I'm drafting, and I know what Sandy's going to do. And this is the other thing. I'm an imaginative person, right? So I imagine him on the other end every time we're doing one of these MVP drafts or these little invite-only drafts at ownersbox.com is him going, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a loser. And I'm like, and I'm all self-conscious because I imagine literally everybody that's doing the draft with me sitting there going, oh, God, that's what he's talking about. I'm like, well, just pick that guy. But it's different than that now, right? Because you got a few weeks behind. But at the same time, it's like if you haven't done this before, if you haven't gotten into fantasy sports, if you haven't got Ownersbox is like the best way to do it because it's a weekly thing. You don't have to be committed for an entire year. You're not gonna go broke doing it on the daily. It's fully customizable. You got to and it's like turnkey, right? Like that was the incredible part for me when I started doing it. It was you're literally everything is done for you. You don't have a pen and a piece of paper. You've obviously looked at the matchup, so you're going to see who you want to pick that week anyway. You might have taken a couple notes, but like everything is uploaded, everything is taken care of, everything is recorded. All your results are immediate, and the really addictive part for me is that little line that goes back and forth depending on how your
dashboard,
how your day's going on the dashboard. Where you're like, I got 3 down here, I got 4 up here. But like last week, I had 5 in a row down there, and I can't even tell you how negative I felt. I felt terrible about myself.
The dashboard's great. And I think that's, one of the cool features we do that a lot of platforms don't is, we want you to get into multiple contests because, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. That's just inevitable in the process. But, I get in, on average, I'm in like 7 or 8 a week. And that dashboard, I mean, it's a one-stop shop for tracking all my contests. I can see, injured players. If I have a man that's not playing, I can make a change quickly all from that screen. So that's my personal favorite screen to stay on. Obviously, we have live scoring built in, all that stuff. So it actually updates as you watch it on TV. It happens, within seconds on our platform. So it's all up to date. You can track everything there. And I think that's a great feature that we have on the platform.
I got an update on Ownersbox before I got it on my TV once, and I forgot that I had rewound my TV. And I'm like, these guys are good. They know what's coming.
We'll take it, Dean. We'll take it. That's for sure.
I'm like, these guys are good. They know what's going to happen before it even fucking happens. That is unbelievable. That is really fast. What's your record like, Christian? How are you? I think I'm like 5-10 now. Not great.
I want to say I was
See,
terrible
that's
at
the voice I hear. That's the laugh
it's
I hear
sports.
when I'm drafting.
I mean, imagine me listening to him my whole life with that. So I feel you. I'm terrible at the NBA. I think I went 0-3 doing NBA. I won an MLB contest, so I did one.
Yeah,
won
yeah,
all
you're
three.
undefeated. Yeah.
And then football.
Was it
I
a
wanna say I'm
2-man,
like,
4-man, 16? What was
You're
it?
70.
It was 8-man. 8-man. I won baseball.
8-man,
Yeah.
Wow.
which is good. Big.
Yeah.
Big
So like I said,
payday there.
baseball I know, so that's where I feel like I'll do better. And then
you're
football,
70,
I'm hit or miss.
You have a
I'm like,
75%. Well, hit or miss. If 75% is hit or miss, I'll take that all day long, Gage. I'm looking at your profile right now. As I have you as a friend. He's a 75% win percentage on Ownersbox.
Does he really?
I'm better than I think
challenge.
I am.
Yeah, only challenge him if you really want the smoke. If you're ready for it.
Yeah, I do.
Great.
I do want
Let's
this.
go.
I want your smoke. I want Christian smoke. So let's go. We'll do that as soon as we get off the podcast. I'm jacked. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm really excited, and really excited that you're going to be repping SoCal as well. So thanks for joining us, Christian. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Dean. Appreciate
no
it.
problem, brother. Plashkus, anything you want to add before we go? Give me some picks this week, because I got to get my picks in, and give me a few like sleepers. And if you want to tease a couple, do it for me. You wrote a great teaser article on why teasers are the only way to bet, because he's a teaser. That's what he likes. I don't even know why he teases as much as he takes it.
Love good teaser. Great.
Sleeper,
Love a teaser.
First of all, for the teaser thing, I won't give you one out right now, because I don't start crunching numbers till like Saturday evening. Sunday morning, I wake up early as hell to start crunching numbers. I do like a couple lines this week. I wrote an article yesterday on the site, Dean. I love the Seahawks -3 this week against the 49ers. I'm confident Seahawks coming off a loss, not a brutal one, but coming off a loss nonetheless. I like them in that spot. My favorite pick of the week, might be the most unpopular pick of the week, is the Dolphins +3.5 against Gange's LA Rams. He's a Rams guy. It's Tua time.
Is that an asshole pick, though? Is that an asshole pick because he's your buddy?
Dude,
it sounds like an asshole pick.
He's going to eat Tua. He's going to eat his hip, Sandy. That's a terrible pick.
You know what it is, Dean? It's a fuck the public bet, because everyone is on the Rams. It's Sandy's fading the public. That is what I like to do a lot of times. And sometimes, hey, it doesn't work out, but I do really like this spot. Dolphins +3.5. Rams on a short week, traveling to the East Coast. I love the Dolphins this week. And then I also like the total. Hear me out. Don't judge. In the Eagles-Cowboys game at 43. I can't believe I said it. I just did. The Cowboys will score at least 7 points, and the Eagles might score 40. I think that game's going to be a blowout. I'm also leaning Eagles spread too, but I haven't placed that yet. So those are my early, leans of the week. Mm-hmm. And then obviously follow me on Twitter at Sandy Plashkus. Get my teaser Sunday morning. I'll have, have at least one, if not two, one for the morning slate, one for the afternoon. So definitely tune in. Gange and I are always, sending our picks on Twitter, so definitely follow the both of us.
Yeah, do it. Where can we find you on social media, specifically Twitter or whatever you like to frequent the most, Mr. Gange?
Yeah, I'd say check out my Twitter. It's at cgange6. And then I'm Instagram at Christian Gange, but I'm less active there. So follow me on Twitter at cgange6 for an obsessive amount of Padres and USC and just anything SoCal sports content. And then I gamble too, so I interact with Sandy. And all that. So
I gamble too, Dean.
Steelers money line on Sunday. That's my pick right there.
Steelers money line. There you go.
Is it Steelers money line on Saturday? What's the?
I like the Ravens.
Steelers are +4 against the Ravens. I love that, and then I like a little sprinkle on the money line.
Oh my God!
Ravens by 7. Ravens by 7.
Yeah,
okay?
No shit.
We'll see.
Sean, clip this up and remember it once the Ravens win by 7.
Yeah, do it, Sean. Let's.
I'll stop on your grave, Sandy. I'll right to the bank.
52 minutes into the podcast. Make sure you clip this, because we're gonna have to feed it to one of these two guys.
Yeah,
one of
us will have
more.
One of us will have
Steelers money line.
All right,
put your savings on it.
Steelers money line. Any quick little fantasy sleepers, like for the people out there? You don't have to give me a couple. Give me some sit-em starting. Yeah, just a little bit. Give me a taste.
Dean,
give me a taste.
Dean, please. Do I have sleepers? If you don't follow us on Instagram at Ownersbox, you're doing yourself a disservice, because we really hand out our sleepers every week on there. While you might not pick a sleeper in a smaller contest like a 2-team or 4-team, you might want to look for them in your 16-man or 8-man contest. So our top sleepers this week are Gio Bernard. If Mixon doesn't play, he's going to be a good spot. Catches passes. That's why we love him on our platform.
Mhm.
So look for him as a good sleeper. Brandon Ayuk is my favorite sleeper this week. SF 49ers, even though I'm betting against them this week. He had a big game last week, and I love Ayuk. I love him because he should be in the green and gold in Green Bay. We should have drafted him this year, and we didn't. And now he's killing it, and it frustrates me. But I do love him this week. So I would say those are my two sleepers, and then Richard Rodgers is another tight end sleeper in a 16-man I would consider on the Lions. He's been doing pretty well lately. So look for that spot as well. Those are my
Thanks.
three.
Appreciate it. Thank you. That's a nice little. I like that. I like giving people a little, like I said, a little taste. Like a little taste.
Bit. Just dip your foot in the water, Dean. That's all we're doing.
Thanks,
here.
buddy.
It's only Friday. Friday.
At Sandy Plaskis on Twitter, at CGange6 on Twitter as well, if I'm not mistaken. Did I nail that
sir.
one? And a very special welcome to Christian Gange, too, who's now a contributor with Ownersbox and DeanBlundell.com. He's got SoCal covered for us. His podcast is called The Wannabes Podcast. It's also available at DeanBlundell.com. It's all football, right? It's all football? It looks like it's
everything.
All
it's
sports,
everything,
yeah. It'll become much more football now, obviously, because that's all that's left. But,
you got to go all football. There's nothing,
week.
Dude. What was it yesterday? Or the day before? There's like zero fucking sports on.
Yeah.
And the only thing we got going on is football. So I hope it's all football from now on.
Yeah, but check out next week's episode. We're gonna have Sandy come on and mock me for the Dodgers winning the World Series against Padres and get into a little football too. So looking forward to it.
Boys, great to have you. Appreciate both of you being here. Christian, welcome. Sandy, set up that MVP. We'll get going right away.
I'll send it right away, guys.
Okay, buddy.
Always a pleasure. Christian, thanks for joining. Let's ride. Happy weekend.
There you go, boys. Have a great weekend. Christian Gange, who's new to DeanBlundell.com. Sandy Plaskis, who is VP of Marketing at Ownersbox. Ownersbox Fantasy Sports, official partner of DeanBlundell.com and the DeanBlundell.com podcast network. Play some fantasy sports with us this weekend. Go and log on, and you can sign up for free. You get Ownersbox. That's what we play for. You can play for the money, too. You want to play for the money? They can play for the money. They'll even match your money up to a $50 deposit when you go and sign up. Totally free of charge. Go to DeanBlundell.com now, and there's a big thing at the front. Drew Brees, he looks so happy to see you. He'll welcome you. All you do is you click Drew Brees' welcoming face, and that's how you sign up, and it's just this easy. We'll continue to walk you through the process. I'll get spanked this weekend, but God, I'll live and die by that dashboard. You will too. Go to ownersbox.com for more information. Thanks to our friends at Blue Microphones, the official microphone of DeanBlundell.com as well. Come and join us on the Show Us Your Pod contest. What we're doing is giving someone all new gear. Blue is doing that for us. We're going to give it to you and then invite you into the DeanBlundell.com network and be part of our now 26 strong podcast network. If you win, we'll judge. If you win, you're going to get a brand new Yeti X microphone from Blue. You're also going to get a Blue Compass boom mic boom arm. It's a weird thing to say. It's an arm. It's awesome. And you're also going to get yourself some of these headphones, Emmy award-winning headphones, and maybe the best audio headset I've ever had. And we want to share that with you, and we also want to set you up so your podcast can sound terrific. So that's what Blue is doing. That's what we're doing with Blue. It's called the Show Us Your Pod contest. You go to DeanBlundell.com, you click on the little icon there, and all you do is leave us a link, your name and information. We'll get back to you. It's super, super simple. The Show Us Your Pod contest from Blue Microphones, the official microphone partner of DeanBlundell.com. Have a great day, everybody. Oh, by the way, Ed's Gitch. I'm going to send these guys some Gitch, too. Pouch in the front, boxer briefs on the side. It's like a sleeping bag for your nutsack. And right now, when you order yourself 3 pairs of Gitch from edsfineimports.com, he'll send you another pair for free. That's 4 for the price of 3. Use promo code GITCH, then the number 3. That's all you do. And it says checkout, promo code GITCH3. You get an extra pair of Gitch for free. Luxury underwear, Gitch from Eds. He's also got a whole bunch of these masks, too. He'll silk screen them if you want to get a bunch made. Like if Sandy wanted a bunch of Ownersbox masks made, because they're a socially responsible company, he would call Ed. He's silk screen him. Just big Ownersbox logo right across the front. That's what I do. In fact, I'm going to get some for the fellas. That's how I do stuff. Thanks to edsfineimports.com. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for listening to the podcast. You can join us at DeanBlundell.com. Sign up for the newsletter there. Check out all of our podcast and content providers. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Enjoy the weekend. Bye.
Yeah, good shit, Dean. Fuck yeah.